Hello, chart friends. We're going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum Litecoin, XRP, and BNB. And just like that, daily higher lows are set. And this is definitely faster. You know, if you're sitting here looking for the daily higher low and you missed this move, don't worry, because I missed it as well. Because it's essentially 10 minutes of action dictating that the daily higher low has been set. And when you see this same kind of setup in stocks, and you're looking for a daily higher low to be set in stocks, the vast majority of the time you're going to get, an hourly higher low and higher high, and it's going to play out over a few hours. Whereas here on Bitcoin, it was just essentially, all right, here's a little bounce on declining bull volume. It is a weak bear flag possible. We have the exponential resistance that has rejected the price 3 times in a row, looming just overhead. We have a lower high pattern still very easily intact. And then just 10 minutes of action completely changes that, and we break all kinds of resistance. And like I said, just like that, we're confident now that our daily higher low has been established. So what we're looking at from here is going to be dictated by volume, in my opinion. If we see another solid volume day tomorrow of here on Coinbase, it's 15,000. If we were to see tomorrow 15 plus thousand, there is a possibility that we could just see continuation. And a lot of people are now talking about the inverse head and shoulders pattern on the daily time frame, where this is your left shoulder, this is your head, this is your right shoulder, and if we break the neckline, these two resistance levels of 42.39 and 44.15, that is a reversal pattern. And that's essentially just, again, this is an easy way that people visualize trend changes, where you're going from lower highs and lower lows to a higher low and then a higher high. So what I like about these setups is that you break multiple resistance levels at the same time, and then there's a lack of resistance in the instance of Bitcoin because we dumped so hard. So if we break 42.40, 42.39, and then 44.15, the next resistance level we're looking up at is 56.65. That's a long way away. So the two scenarios that we have playing out over the weekend and into next week is we see straight up continuation and just a V-shaped recovery, breaking resistance to higher highs. Again, the volume has to continue to pour on for that to happen. Or we see a bull move up, we see a lower high compared to 42.39 and a continued tightening range on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. If that's the case, there's no rush for the bulls. The daily chart's going to tighten up into probably mid next week before we get a break. But again, the possibility still remains that the bulls continue this pressure into tomorrow and through tomorrow and make our way up to that resistance. So at this point on the 4-hour time frame, we do still need to confirm the trend change. So we had a clear bull break of the lower highs, and that's great for the bulls. The volume was very significant, but we still need a higher low and then a higher high confirming the trend change with that continuation. We have a bull MACD cross, the bull cross of the exponential 12 and 26 period coming in here. We had the bear cross. We then consolidated for a day or two. Now we're closing in on another potential bull cross. And this is not a signal that has given many fake outs. There have been a couple fake outs, really just one fake out since the dump from 6,500. And that was right there where we had a bear break and then straight to a bull break. But then it went right to a bear break again. So that's not really much of a fake out. The bottom line is these exponential moving averages have been pretty good in terms of their signals, and we're closing in on the potential of a bull break. So 4-hour inside bar is likely to form right now while this video uploads and you are watching it. And then we're going to look, do we consolidate to try and form a 4-hour higher low? And if we do, we're going to look to backtest and hold these exponential moving averages for that higher low. And then again, we need the continuation move to confirm the 4-hour trend change. And if we were to get that on increasing bull volume, we're going to be right there looking back up at 42.39. So at this point, bulls are waiting for 4-hour consolidation to make an entry, and bears at this point, hourly extended, higher low every single candlestick. Again, when I see a pattern like this, every single candlestick a higher low, I look for that signal to break. I look for that pattern to break to be a signal that consolidation is coming. So if we look at the 15-minute time frame, it's a very clear higher low pattern, riding exponential supports. So the only bearish entries right now short term are top fishing 39.72, where you make a bearish entry right now, let's say, and you exit if that level breaks, or waiting for the 15-minute higher lows to break, making your bearish entry then, and then zooming out to the hourly time frame, knowing that a higher low is going to form and not being too greedy as a bear, because again, hourly and 4-hour healthy consolidation is anticipated from here. Ethereum, big move on the daily. So again, significant move, significant volume, as the candlestick is not closed yet. But from where we stand right now, 136, we still need a significant move to the upside. We need $23, and that is about 15%. So just keep that in mind. It's a very significant bull move, but that's why I was talking about in the last video, anticipating that when we form our daily high or low, we're going to look for the most likely scenario to be a lower high after that. So it would be a surprising move if we saw just straight up bullish continuation. And again, it would require significant bull volume, in my opinion. We would need to see the kind of volume that we saw back here, 600 plus thousand on that climax kind of day. 4-hour time frame, same thing, broke the lower high pattern very clearly. Bull cross of the exponential moving averages, but we need a higher low and then a continuation move to confirm that trend change. Inside bar is forming there. Hourly established a little bit more of a support than Bitcoin did. The 15-minute time frame, higher lows still intact. 133.25 is the most important short-term support for me. 138.58 is resistance. That's our 15-minute tightening channel. A little bit of an equilibrium might be setting up on the 15-minute time frame. But basically, just looking at Ethereum and Bitcoin, both charts are a bit extended, and we need healthy hourly consolidation and healthy 4-hour consolidation in order to look for that continuation and confirmation of those trend changes on the 4-hour time frame. Litecoin on the daily, higher low clearly established, and we're looking up at resistance of 36.78, and where we stand, that's over 10% from this point. About 10%, so less in terms of percentage. Let's get the exact levels here in terms of how much upside we need from the high of this move. That's about 15% on Ethereum, and for Litecoin, high of the move. Don't fail me now, measurement tool. It's failing me. There we go. So about 10%. So visual math working well. Bitcoin, let's compare that. How much more do we need percentage-wise? 6%. So big differences there. It's going to be an interesting next 2 days for this weekend. So Litecoin, looking at the 4-hour time frame, bull break, need a higher low, 4-hour inside bar forming. Everybody is significantly correlated at this point. Hourly chart has a little bit more consolidation, but the very clear support is 31.90 with a double bottom. Let's look at that on the 15-minute. So double bottom to the penny. If we break 31.90, we zoom out and say, all right, that's the sign that our hourly and 4-hour consolidation is coming. So the levels that I've highlighted for key support on the shorter term time frames, that's the level where we say, okay, hourly healthy consolidation is coming if that breaks. And for Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame, most important short-term level for me is 38.65. XRP, what do we need in terms of percentage move back to the high? Even more, 18%. So the names that ran up the hardest pulled back the hardest and have the furthest percentage to see continuation. So that definitely makes sense. The 4-hour time frame, not really breaking as many lower highs as the others are. Still need that higher low and higher high confirmation of the 4-hour trend change. Still forming an inside bar just like everybody else. Hourly chart a bit extended. Most important support is 382 for the bulls to try and remain in complete control. And Binance, last to wrap it up. And again, I like Binance, and I wanted to cover it here because these resistances are so close. 662 and 647. So if we get the bull break and break both of those levels, look at the lack of resistance. 817 is the next level after that. All this space to work with. And again, let's look at these other names just to compare. Do we have space if we break daily resistance? Not the case for Ethereum, or I should say not the case for XRP because of how hard we ran. We already filled that void of resistance to a certain degree. Litecoin on the daily time frame, if we get over 36 and 36.78, there's some space up there for the bulls to get going. And for Ethereum, again, already filled some of that void with the initial bull move. And Bitcoin has that void of space because we did not move as far. So I'm certainly interested in the inverse head and shoulders pattern everybody is keeping an eye on, and we'll see if we get that follow through. Binance on the shorter term time frames, a bit of a different setup. So the daily higher low is established. The percentage gain needed to get back to resistance is only about 9%, so lower percentage needed, just like Bitcoin. 4-hour time frame needs a higher low and higher high to confirm the trend change. Hourly chart is extended. No consolidation at this point. 15-minute time frame, most important support level. I would be comfortable going bearish, looking for hourly consolidation just for a short-term day trade if 582 breaks. So at this point, the bulls have proven themselves in the short term for the daily higher low. If I am looking bearish, I am doing it with a short-term mindset because I'm looking for hourly and 4-hour higher lows to form on this consolidation. So if I were looking bearish, I would only be looking for a short amount of time to see that consolidation, and I would look to lock in that profit after just a few percentage points to the downside. Unless we saw significant bear volume, that's one indication that would have me hold a little bit longer. But if we don't see significant bear volume, if we just see declining bear volume, which is exactly what the bulls want to see, you don't want to be in that bearish trade for too long. And again, like I said, as far as the bull entries go, I have no problem being patient, waiting for hourly and 4-hour consolidation. And let's just use Bitcoin as the general example here. If we pull back and look for this higher low to form, bulls are going to be looking for an entry off that exponential support. If you want to be a patient bull, that's fine as well. You can wait for this daily time frame to play out and tighten up. If I had to, attribute percentages to it, I would say 60% chance, maybe even 65% chance that we are going to see a tightening sideways daily range for a couple of days here. So I'm in no rush personally. I'm still taking a conservative approach. We'll look at the weekly time frames tomorrow as we get close to the weekly candlesticks closing. But as long as we're in a weekly downtrend, which we very clearly still are on everybody, I'm not being an aggressive bull. I've made bullish trades, but if we were in an uptrend on the weekly time frame, I would be looking to enter on the higher low on the daily time frame today. But because we're in a weekly downtrend, I'm in no rush. We haven't even confirmed the daily trend change, and we have to break 42.39 to give us that higher low and higher high to do so. So just like the 4-hour time frame needs the higher low and higher high confirmation, that's what the bulls are looking for on the daily time frame as well. So congrats to the bulls that are still holding, and let's see if we can break this resistance tomorrow. If we don't, we're going to be looking into early next week after a couple days still maintaining within this range. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you all are doing well. We got some nice long weekends coming up, although the markets are open on Monday as far as stocks go. So some people get nice 4-day weekends. I only get a regular weekend, but Tuesday's off, so that's good. Happy holidays, happy new year. We'll continue coverage, and I will see you all tomorrow.